Do you want to know how to transform your life? I look better at 40 years old than I did at 30. The way that you transform your life is to not overgive. A lot of us are overgivers, okay? We focus all of our attention outside of ourselves instead of cultivating the ground underneath us. If you imagine a plant in a pot, if it spends all of its time reaching for something else and not focusing on building and creating roots, you're just gonna fall right out of your pot, okay? You are a plant, you're meant to focus your energy beneath you to create abundance. All right, we cannot create abundance by externalizing our energy, by pouring into everyone else. Some of you guys are chasers. I used to be a chaser. You know what we do when we chase people? We chase them away. We effectively chase them away. It's like whatever we are reaching for, we're pushing farther away because we're coming from a place of desperation. We're not coming from a place of grounded self-love. Okay, so I'm gonna start getting on here and talking more about this because this is how I changed my life. I really and honestly do look better at this age, at 40. I turned 41 in a few months. I look better at 41 than I did at 31 or at 21. And it's honestly because I pour into myself now. I'm not a chaser, and guess what? Now life is chasing me. I have opportunities showing up because I'm not chasing them. When you attract energy, it means that you're standing in your power. When you are not chasing, you're attracting, it means that you are in love with your own essence. That you don't need someone else's essence to make you complete. That your essence alone is enough to fuel you, to fill you. You're already whole, right as you are right now. The more that we chase other people and other things, the more that we leave our center, okay? And I think this especially relates to female identified folks. Because oftentimes we're taught to give our power away. We're taught to chase other people. We're taught to trick them into falling in love with us. All these really ridiculous tactics from the old paradigm energy. Now we understand that whatever we attract is what we are. So if we're in a high vibration, guess what? We're going to be attracting high vibration things and people. We're going to be attracting job opportunities, friend opportunities that are at our level. But when we're in a low vibration, it's the same thing. We're going to attract low vibration people and energy. And we're going to chase away the things we want by chasing them. So I want you to do an exercise. Just close your eyes and take a deep breath and imagine that you are the version of you that you've always wanted to be. Okay, if you're trying to lose weight or look better or embody more power, confidence, whatever it is, imagine that you've already accomplished this, that you're standing in your own power. How do you feel? The idea, after you've captured this feeling, the idea is to bring that feeling into your everyday life. Instead of creating this theoretical scenario of someday I'm going to get here, start embodying that energy now. The truth is, that's how I did it. I started, it's like, believe it until you can be it. You know, this fake it till you make it is part of it, but it's not about faking it. It's about shifting your dynamic, shifting the energy that you possess so that you are now in an energy of attracting what you desire because you're now no longer seeking it. You recognize that the soil underneath you is important. It all comes back to self-love. Okay, I'm a self-love coach. I'm a trauma coach. I'm a spiritual teacher. I do a lot of things. I wear a lot of hats. And you know, it's because I came here to inspire people through all the different various things that I offer. But part of the reason why I got here and have so much to offer is because I've been through a lot. I've experienced trauma and abuse and abandonment and homelessness and poverty and and drug addiction and all kinds of stuff that's really, really tough. Okay, but and the reason why I had to go through all that is because I didn't love myself. I was raised in a toxic household where I was abused on a regular basis. My teachers abused me. I was bullied in school. And so, you know what? I was the ugly duckling that became a swan. But I didn't become a swan until I was practically 40 years old. And a lot of people in their 20s think that 40 is old, that you have to be, you know, that you have to get Botox and do all kinds of stuff to change the way you look in order to still be relevant. That's bullshit. And you know what? We're creating the rules for this new paradigm. The more that we give our power away and let other people tell us who we should be, what we should look like, the more that we're in misalignment with this higher version of ourselves. We need to start showing love and investing in the things that matter to us. If all we're ever doing is going out there and pouring all of our vital essence into other people, then we're making them stronger. We're building them up. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you're leaving yourself neglected to go give other people love, how do you think that's going to pan out for you in the long run? That other person's going to receive all your love and you're not receiving any of it. And guess what? They're not really giving you any love either, are they? Because you've signed up to have this chaser running dynamic, right? My whole life I've been that person. I was the unchosen one. I was the one that got bullied. Like I said, I was the one that got abused. I was the one that ended up with toxic people who treated me like shit. Guess what? It's because I treated myself like shit. Maybe not consciously, definitely not consciously. All right? It all starts with the way we treat ourselves. We have to start showing up for ourselves first instead of overgiving to everyone else. So again, I want you to close your eyes and imagine this version of you. How do they walk? How do they talk? How do they feel? How do they act? What do they do for a living? Okay? And then try to embody this on a regular basis. Part of it is being authentic. Okay? It's not about pretending to be someone else. Talking about getting on TikTok and pretending that you have all kinds of money and that all kinds of people follow you or whatever it is that people value these days. It's about honoring where you are now and falling in love with who you are now. That's how you become your best version. It sounds crazy because if you don't really like who you are now, how can you fall in love with that version of you? Well, the way is to stop overgiving to people that don't treat you well, because part of the reason why you feel in misalignment with yourself is because you're in misalignment when you're reaching and chasing, okay? We have to come back. The reason why I look better and feel better and am more successful and more happy and embodied at this age than any other age is because I quit a business that didn't serve me to do what I love for a living. It's because I walked away from all the people that treated me like shit. I had boundaries. I said, you know what? With respect, I'm not going to tolerate this kind of dynamic anymore. I'm going to move on. And I'm talking family members, friends, everyone. And you know what? They didn't believe in who I was and what I was trying to do because they didn't see my vision. And that's exactly why I had to walk away from them to become this version of me. I became this version of me by going all in on myself. Even though at that time I didn't really love myself, I knew that it started here. I started making content about self-love even before I had got there. Okay? And then the biggest thing you can do for yourself is start to create disciplined action every day. This started for me during the pandemic. I started creating a list of everything I did during the day because I was self-employed and my business kind of tanked. We were all, during the beginning of the pandemic, all of us kind of had our life halt, right? I had to find a way to stay accountable to myself and stay sane. I documented how much I ate or what I ate, what good things I ate. I was accountable to a certain amount of exercise every day. I was accountable to a certain amount of creativity every day. And mind you, I've never really had discipline in this way. So it's something I cultivated out of necessity. However, I still do it 5 years later. I document every single day, okay? And I am accountable and I add things to the list. Over time, it's evolved. Now I meditate every day. It's changed my life. I'm accountable to eating good food every day. Healthy food is what I mean. Healthy food that fuels me. I wouldn't look better in my 40s than I did in my 30s if I didn't eat healthy, if I didn't put good things in my body. I also quit drinking. I haven't had a drop of alcohol in over 3 years. Yeah. And you know what? It changed my life. I lost a bunch of weight. I used to be 40 pounds heavier. 40 pounds. That's a lot. That's a lot. I look so different now. I quit smoking about 10 years ago. Okay, so some of this work started 10 years ago. And I'm so proud and grateful to that version of me for making some of those decisions. But most of the conscious decisions that have led to me feeling like a swan, I never, ever felt confident or beautiful or sexy or talented or any of that. It's through pouring into myself. First of all, sharing my authenticity. I started to see through the videos I was making 4 years ago on YouTube, even if I didn't really know what I was talking about, I was authentic. And there was something about that I was able to fall in love with over time. Like, wow, I really do show up as a genuine human. And I really do know a few things. I had some wisdom, all right? Some of you guys have a lot more gifts than you realize. But you might be surrounded by people that just don't respect you. And if you're the kind of person that's been bullied, and you grew up in a toxic household especially, you might be shocked by how much you just kind of, become desensitized to disrespect. I certainly did. And there are going to be people who stand out at the top of the list who disrespect you, and you only really notice those really loud, obvious ones. And then there's the more subtle disrespect. And the people that are in competition with you. The people that might try to give you a compliment by also slapping you on the other cheek. You know what I mean? Oh, you actually look really good today. That's not a compliment. That's not a compliment. That's a fucking insult. That's somebody treating you with disrespect, or at the very least undervaluing you. When somebody tries to act like you're a show-off for sharing your gifts, that person is not healthy. That's toxic, okay? You need to surround yourself with people that can nurture you. Imagine yourself as a plant. Again, you're a plant in the soil. Do you want to spend time with people who are plucking leaves off of you and You know what I mean? Spraying toxic poison on you? Or do you want to spend time with people who pour love into you, like sunshine, rays of sunshine and water and fertilizer? You need to be doing this for yourself, first of all, but you also need to be careful. Energy spreads, all right? And especially if you've been bullied your whole life, the voice in your head is probably not your own. It's somebody else's. It could be your parents. It could be a teacher. It could be a bully in your life. It could be a sibling who was toxic and abusive. Could be all of the above. If you're anything like me, you had it from multiple people. There's a voice in your head that's critical. It's probably not even your own. And if you're still surrounded with whoever that person was or that type of person, because it might not be the same person, but maybe you've created a model where this is the kind of person you spend time with or date. A lot of us end up dating toxic people. I used to be in an abusive relationship, so I understand. We tolerate a lot of bullshit, don't we? When we came from that kind of toxic environment, we tolerate a lot of bullshit. I'm here to inspire and empower you, okay? I'm a self-love coach. Like I said, I'm a trauma coach. I learned about trauma while I was healing my own, so I was able to be a witness and in the experience at the same time. It was really not fun, but now I know what it's like to go through it, and I want to be there to guide others through. All right, I also read tarot and do a lot of other things, but I want to start talking more about why I'm here. I'm not here to read tarot. I'm here to inspire people. I'm here to empower people, especially people who've been squashed down their whole lives. Okay, it could be the color of your skin, it could be your gender identity, or your sexual orientation. You could be autistic, you could be, on the spectrum, you could have ADHD. There's a lot of reasons why people might have put you in a box and told you to sit down or shut up or tell you that you're irrelevant or try to make you feel stupid or small. I've experienced all of them. Okay? We don't all have the same story, but we can inspire each other with the stories we do have, because there's always going to be someone who resonates with you. Once you start being honest about it. And I was so busy protecting my family members who were abusing me that it took me a long time. I know I'm not the only one. It took me a long time to start being brave enough to share my story. And I'm actually being guided to share some of it right now. I usually protect not using specific terms, but I'm done doing that. It's time for me to really start stepping into my power, because it's going to benefit you. I'm here to lead and guide and heal, and I can't do that if I'm still protecting my abusers, can I? My mom was one of my biggest abusers. That's why I don't talk about it, because I love her still. We're not in each other's lives. I walked away from her 3 years ago because her love is conditional and toxic. I still respect her as a human, and she brought me into this earth, and a lot of the reason why I am this version of me is because her genetics and her, there were things that she gave me that I really am grateful for. But I'm no longer going to protect her narrative and her story over myself, okay? Your inner child is inside of you right now, asking for you to advocate for it. If we're so busy advocating for everyone else, that leaves our inner child vulnerable. And if you've had the kind of childhood trauma that I've had, your inner child fucking needs you now. Don't abandon your inner child, all right? Don't abandon your inner child for some abuser or someone's narrative, okay? Or someone's ego. Don't let other people take your inner child out of its comfort zone because you're too afraid to speak up to them, to stand up to them. This is the kind of stuff that takes a long time, okay? I'm shaking. This isn't easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. But you know what? You're not going to get to this transformed version of you by protecting them or by staying with toxic people. And there's this whole blood is thicker than water thing, or, if you've been my best friend of 30 years, I walked away from my best friend of 30 years. Some of you guys aren't even 30 years old. That's a long time. That was my longest relationship with a human that wasn't a family member. And I walked away because at the end of the day, as much as I loved her and as much as I do believe underneath everything she loved me, she was always in competition with me. When I started losing weight, she made me feel guilty about it because she hadn't been losing weight. You know what I mean? Misery loves company. Make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people that can actually celebrate your wins for you. When you become a healthier version of you, do they make you feel like shit? If so, that person's not for you. I'm sorry to say. And do you think it was easy to walk away from a friend of 30 years? No, it was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. And her daughter, who was 12 years old. That part is still hard for me. But you know what? I got to be a part of her life for those 12 years. I got to help mold her into the person she became. And you know what? When she's old enough to get her own phone and stuff, we're going to have our relationship again. The point is that this came with sacrifices. So many sacrifices. I walked away from a lucrative business to do this work for free at first. I didn't even know how I was going to monetize it. I walked away from like a 6-figure income to do God's work for free. It's been a hard journey, so humbling. But you know what? I feel so beautiful and radiant and powerful now. I never felt that way. And you know what else is crazy? All the people that used to make fun of me or project on me or bully me see me that way too. They do. And a lot of them have reached out, and even the ones that haven't, it's like, I can tell. I know. Because I'm different now. I wish I could show you a video right next to this of who I used to be so that you could really see. Even 3 years ago, even 2 years ago, you'd be like, wow, that's intense. I used to bite my fingernails down to nubs. I was so anxious. I used to drink every night. I used to take home creepy dudes who didn't respect me, who didn't appreciate me. And guess what? I felt like shit afterward. For what? Now I've been celibate for 3 years. I haven't even kissed anyone. And it's because I value myself. And until I meet somebody who's actually worthy of me, I'm not doing anything. It's discipline. It takes time to cultivate. And also it's about validation. You validating yourself. I used to go out and seek validation. That's why I would take home these dudes. I don't honestly really know. It had a lot to do with drinking. When you drink, you make stupid mistakes and you can kind of say, oh, I was drunk. I don't drink anymore, so I don't just stumble into dudes and make out with them and take them home. I know some of you can relate. And it doesn't matter what gender you are. We've all, if you resonate with me, we've all made mistakes. We've all disrespected ourselves in some form or fashion. It's time to start taking accountability for who we are, for the life that we have, and for who we want to become. And until we can kind of visualize who we want to be, it's really hard to start taking steps toward it. So that's why I get on here and talk about how I do look better at this age than any other age. I really, really do. I've never felt, like I said, powerful or sexy or beautiful. And I've certainly never felt comfortable saying those words out loud. Now I know it's part of my story because I'm supposed to reach people who feel disempowered and help guide them toward the version of them they've always wanted to be. And a huge part of that is, contrary to popular belief, is to own your power, to speak it, to be, and not in a cocky way. There's a difference between being cocky and being honest. How many of us just give our power to other people and say, I'm not talented, I'm not this, even if you kind of know that you are. You kind of know. Look, I can kind of sing, or I can kind of dance, or whatever it is that you do. I can draw, kind of. We all we kind of get smaller and smaller as we say it. We don't really allow ourselves to shine. And often this is because we've been bullied into feeling like it's safer to disappear. But you know what? Part of your job, a lot of you that resonate with me, is to lead other people through example. How effective do you think you're going to be if you're still hiding in the shadows? If I was still hiding in the shadows, I couldn't really lead anybody. If I wasn't really telling my story, they couldn't relate to me. If I wasn't willing to shout out my accomplishments, how could people know where I started versus where I've gotten? I have crawled through darkness, a dark tunnel of healing, what we call shadow work. And you know what I mean? Ego death and trauma healing for 10 years now. I started this journey when I was 31, when I left my abusive partner, when I quit smoking. Now I look so much better. It doesn't make any sense how I would look better 10 years later, but I look amazing. I feel amazing. And it's because I fucking love myself now. It's time to be honest about the people around you. Okay, when you ask for space or boundaries, do they manipulate you and make you feel guilty and shame you? Or do they say, wow, I really respect that. That's really inspiring. Thank you for taking care of yourself. Thank you for expressing your truth. Be honest. All right, I get on here and share this stuff because it's not easy for me, okay? I'm shaking. But I get on here because I want you to know you're not the only one going through this, and that I'm here to guide and lead, not just through these videos, but I offer transformational mentorship, self-love, and spiritual guidance. And I can help you address trauma, learn how it impacts your body and your mind, your physiology, your nervous system, and also help you align with the high vibration timeline you want to get to. So whether or not you ever work with me personally, and my website is sacredmuseproject.com. If you do, just click on my icon and you'll find it. Whether you ever work with me personally or not, my videos are always going to be a representation of this energy that I've transmuted to get here. It has not been an easy journey. So whoever showed up, thank you for being here. All right, if you don't currently follow me, please do. I'd love to see you again. And again, if you want to work with me, dive in. We can do a consultation call, just a short one, 15, 20 minutes, just to get to know each other, and it's free. There is no risk. Just so you can vibe with me and see how it feels, talk about your goals, and see if I can help you. Because I'm not here if I was here to make money, I would never have left my old business. I'm here to help people. I'm here to transform your life so that you can have a win like this, the one that I'm having. I'm in a season of win. And some of my ego doesn't even believe it's happening because of the life I've had. But it's real. And it can happen to you. You just have to start investing in yourself, okay? So either way, I love you. Thanks for being here. Again, if you don't follow me, please do. My website is sacredmuseproject.com if you want to dive in or inquire about a consultation call. But either way, have a beautiful fucking day. Go seize this day and this powerful transformative energy. And the more you dive in and invest, the more you're going to get back. This is a very fruitful time for a death rebirth, for going all in on your dreams. So I love you, and I'll see you next time.